This Avalanche Safety Report is brought to you by Mountain TV. Learn more at mtn-tv.com.
Welcome to Mountain TV and the Avalanche Report. We have Brian Lazar. Brian, tell us what's happening. We've had a lot of snow this week.
We have had a lot of snow in it. We, contrasted with last week where it felt like it was just downright hot. We are back into winter, single digits, blowing snow, cold, dry snow. I just want to show you an animation of the modeled snowfall that we've gotten this week, which really started in earnest on Tuesday. Came in about 3 pulses, kind of the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, as we're going to get another pulse and the last one as we head into the weekend. You can see that's really piled up a substantial amount of snow. These red colors are pushing a foot of snow. So we have a widespread kind of 10 to even 20 inches in our deepest areas that just accumulated this week. And what that's led to is a new generation of storm snow instabilities. In this case, because of all the wind, we're looking at wind slab avalanches that are driving the danger in most parts of the state. Because the winds were generally out of the west, you can see that the eastern sides of the compass are going to be the most problematic. So anything at those higher elevations near and above tree line from north around through east and down to south facing slopes, where most of these avalanches are going to be small, but they are running fairly easily off the underlying crust that formed during our warm spell last week. And I want to show you what some of these look like. You can see that most of them are small, and our key to staying safe as we move into the early part or latter part of this work week and into the early part of the weekend is really looking for the clues Mother Nature provides that you're entering wind drifted terrain. So in this case, you have this obvious cornice feature along the ridgeline, and sure enough, we've got drifted slopes below that produce some small wind slab avalanches. Here's some near Telluride, and again, kind of below these rocky features, you can see some natural wind slab avalanches pulled out. Here again, a big cornice feature, a really clear sign that you're getting, wind loading from the back of the photo towards the front. And here's your wind slab avalanche breaking just below that cornice feature. So these are the obvious signs Mother Nature provides us that we're in wind loaded terrain, but they're not always near ridgeline. A lot of these wind drifted slopes are due to cross loaded terrain features like in this image. So you can see a small little cornice feature on this subridge. It's been cross-loaded with wind blowing from the upper right to the lower left of the photo, and just below that little cornice along the rib, you can see is where the wind slab avalanche looked released here. So you want to look for wind-drifted slopes, not just near ridge lines, but also in these cross-loaded kind of depressions and gully features. Here's a climber near Pikes Peak that was able to get one of these wind-drifted slabs to go fairly easily. You can see how easy they're sliding over the crust. This was very early in our new snow, and so you can see it's a very shallow wind slab. Those have only gotten a little bit deeper as we've accumulated those 10 to 20 inches throughout the week. And here's, we can see fresh cornices building up that are easy to cap off, which means you've got wind-loaded slopes below you here. And this video does show you how the wind-drifted snow in our deeper snowpack areas is breaking off the underlying crust.
We've definitely had some colder weather. And when's it going to warm up again? And how will that affect the avalanches, Brian?
Yeah, so as Ben is one of our forecasters is saying here, these places with the thick wind-drifted slabs are fairly isolated, but as long as you keep your eyes out for those wind-drifted slopes, you can greatly reduce your chances of triggering these avalanches if you can stay off of slopes less than about 35 degrees steep with less than 18 inches of wind-drifted snow. And the last clue Mother Nature will get you before I get to your warming question is if you see cracking in the new surface snow, it means you're in one of these isolated wind-drifted areas, so you can really stay safe. That's going to be the problem as we head in through the rest of the work week and into Saturday. But as you noted, we flip the switch again as we get into Sunday. These blue and purple colors are colder air temperatures as this last trough moves through and brings us our last shot of snowfall Friday and into Saturday. And then you can see by Sunday, sunshine returns and these warmer colors and warmer temperatures enter Colorado again. We will flip the switch. All this cold snow that we've accumulated this week, we'll see new sun, strong April sun, and warm temperatures for the first time, and we can expect our concerns to quickly pivot back to wet avalanche activity through the early part of next work week and quite likely through the whole week.
Flip the switch. Ready for some warm, Brian.
Yeah, it's going to be warm. We keep, this is spring in Colorado. We go from winter to spring sometimes on an hourly basis, but we're going to be in winter until we get to at least till Sunday. Back to spring, back to wet avalanche concerns.
Thank you so much for all of your good information and appreciate it. And always check with Colorado Avalanche Information Center And you can go to colorado.gov /avalanche.